Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stellos Stadium in Nashua, New Hampshire, home today of Bishop Guertin girls field hockey, who are in a early tournament round game against Merrimack, the Merrimack High School Tomahawks versus Bishop Guertin. It is field hockey, coming on the heels of a couple of exciting soccer games that we covered here at Stellos yesterday, with Bishop Guertin and South doing battle. And the BG boys coming up against a juggernaut of a South boys soccer team this year. And boys of South are putting together their championship aspirations with another impressive showing yesterday, a 5-1 win over BG. Meanwhile, the girls soccer game went overtime before Bishop Guertin finally triumphed with a 3-2 win. So we were glad to bring you those on Nashua TV, and hopefully we'll have just as an exciting a match today in girls field hockey as we look at the South girls walking off the field after the pregame practice. 10 players to a side in girls field hockey, along with the goaltenders. I'm John Collins. We'll be doing the game today along with Tom King, and our cameraman is Tim O'Neill. It has been a difficult season for athletic directors, coaches, and of course the player students who are always awaiting with bated breath to see whether the games that are scheduled will actually be played. You never know whether it'll be a long time ahead of time or right before a game that it might be canceled and or postponed due to the coronavirus pandemic, which continues to be a concern right on here through the fall into the winter season. And there's been some talk I've heard of some of the athletic directors in New Hampshire thinking about canceling some of the winter sports seasons, including perhaps basketball for some of the teams. We don't know if that's going to happen. Of course, we will leave that up to our resident sage and Nashua sports historian Tom King to talk to us about. We're about a minute away from match play. It'll be a playoff game. Winners' season continues, and of course the losers' season will end, and always adds more excitement to it. It's a beautiful day, a beautiful fall weather day. Temperatures in the low 60s and a hint of sunshine. Of course, as you near the 6 p.m. sunset these days, the sun doesn't do us a lot of favors as it goes down over the trees above the Nashua River. So with the partial sunshine and the overcast, it is a welcome sight to us when it's warm enough that we can enjoy the weather and yet not have a lot of sun in our eyes. So we welcome Tom King, and we're in the playoffs already, Tom.
Happens fast, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, this is our second playoff game, as we were here on Monday for a play-in game between South and Merrimack. And the storyline that day, John, was that Merrimack hadn't played in a while because of all the cancellations and everything else. And basically played pretty well. You know, they showed a little bit of rust. But the one thing they did, John Collins, was dominate time of possession. That's not going to be as easy today because this is a Guertin team that has some veterans on it. So my thinking with this is Guertin's going to have to establish themselves right away, and because they haven't played since last Tuesday, I watched them in the pouring rain against Sauhegan, and they were dominated in that game. So the Cardinals are looking to bounce back. They've had a decent season, John. They've played pretty well. But this is going to be a test for them.
We will have a sophomore in goal for Merrimack. Head coach Ann McLean will be starting a sophomore, Natalia Gonzalez.
Yeah, she wasn't very busy against South. She made one kick save late in the game. But see, South in that game, John, was without Caitlin West, their big scorer.
Oh, yep.
Because of COVID reasons. She didn't test positive, but she had a family member that did, so she had to be quarantined.
That's a tough sit for her when she's a healthy scratch like that.
No kidding. After the year she had,
right.
She played really well. So, she was not allowed, not able to play and had to be quarantined. So Merrimack didn't have to worry about that too much. Today they're going to have to watch players like, Brooke Yabrudi and Lindsay Holt, who have, we've seen Guertin, John, here before in field hockey tournament games, and they can be very aggressive and really push, and they played well here in the tournament, excuse me, but they've also lost some tough games. If you remember the Londonderry game we did a couple of years ago when they lost late in overtime, and then they won a game the next year in overtime. Last year, they made it all the way to the semifinals, as did Merrimack. These were two semifinalists last year. They both lost in the semis, but one of them is looking to get there. Only one of them will have that chance this year after today. Today is a preliminary round game. Quarterfinals will be, I believe, Saturday.
So, Monina Tosi will be the goaltender for Bishop Guertin. She's a senior. BG coach telling me before the game that she will probably go to McKenna Riki, the junior goaltender, for the second half, although that's just an option. They
split last week against they split a lot during the course of the season. This season has all been about playing time and just giving these kids the opportunity to get out there,
Right.
But make no mistake about it, Guertin wants to win this game. And Erica Chareth has an interesting assistant coach, John Collins, who we've seen on the athletic field before. Cam Holt, the hockey player that we covered all those years.
Really?
And his sister is on the team.
Lindsay Holt's
and he is an assistant coach for this team.
Okay.
I asked him how he liked it. Says he likes it. It's pretty interesting. But that's Cam Holt down there, checking the lineup card and everything else.
With his back to us?
With his back to us and the mask on.
Did he graduate?
Well, he graduated from Guertin, yeah.
When did he graduate? He looks like a grown man.
Yeah, Cam Holt graduated, I think it was 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
UMass Lowell was his next spot, and I believe he's still there. So,
okay, yeah.
But not quite positive. But either way, he is coaching and has been really valuable asset to first-year coach Erica Chareth.
Nice side story there with the surprising addition to the coaching staff for girls field hockey. So we're about to get underway. And what is it, 4 15-minute quarters?
4 15-minute quarters. So
that's
a difference from the half times that we used, from the 30-minute halves we used to have.
That's Tom King. I'm John Collins, our cameraman Tim O'Neill, and we are underway for the first quarter of play in the preliminary round of the New Hampshire Interscholastic Athletic Association Girls Field Hockey Tournament for 2020. Congratulations to all the game officials that made this happen in light of what is going on. It's remarkable just to be out here and having the matches at all. So welcome everybody. If you're seeing this on a Wednesday, October 21st, just after 3 o'clock, you are seeing it live on Nashua ETV. We'll see who gets that all-important first goal here for a hot start to their playoff game, if they can manage. It's a low-scoring sport normally, so goals are at a premium, and that's why the first one is all so important. You will often see scoreless quarters or halves or even most of a game sometime, but hopefully that will not be the case, and we'll have more goals to call and highlights to show after this one is over. They're on the Mata Field turf, which is in really great shape once again. They have some rains this week, but aside from some mini puddles in the stands, the field looked primarily dry and exceedingly playable for these girls to put some passes together and maybe some goals. So see who gets their first scoring opportunity. Merrimack, of course, in the all blue, And Bishop Guertin in their home whites, trying to defend in front of goaltender Monina Tosi, who is looking to her right. She wears number 77. And a free hit for the the Tomahawks, as they bang one off the side of the net. No need for a save at all there for Monina Tosi. And it's the Cardinals' possession as they try to come out of their own half of the field and make something happen offensively. Bouncing ball is corralled by the Tomahawks on the near side. Trying to slide that into the middle. Number 1 is Avery Hui. Avery Hui with a nice centering pass and ends up in the goal on a deflection. And it is a pass from Hui, and the goal scorer making her way back to the middle of the field. Sometimes a difficult task to get a hold of a number here at Stellos with the great distance that we must look. But it was somewhat of a one-timer deflection into the goal. Merrimack leads it 1-0. And I can barely see the uniform numbers of Merrimack. I apologize, but that is your goal scorer right there, making her way toward the middle. That tallied the first one for Merrimack. She centers the ball in the middle of the field, and it's shot on ahead. In field hockey rules, you're not allowed to score outside of the circle that you see surrounding goaltender Monina Tosi. Balls must be struck for a scoring play inside that circle. And Merrimack is back on the attack. Battles for the ball must be one-on-one. There is a third player into a scrum that is often whistled dead, and you will see the offending team penalized by giving up any possession. That could be a third person in right there. Or ball was played on the rounded portion of the stick. That was above the waist. Whistled against Merrimack, so BG possession. That ball got up pretty high, but the official's discretion, it was Merrimack ball after the violation of shooting it waist high, so they allowed him to play on. Merrimack with it as they go to the sideline. A colliding of sticks is whistled. Not allowed to clash sticks. The offending party will be whistled for that. Bishop Guertin possession. Nice centering pass. Opportunity to do something with it there, and ball ends up going out of bounds. So Merrimack will have it. Merrimack strikes first, 1-0. They lead it here, and the goal coming in the first 2 minutes of play. First 3 minutes of play, perhaps. The Cardinals, centering pass right on the stick of a teammate that was in front, Brooke Yabruti, who had an opportunity there, number 5, only about 7 yards out in front of the goal, but as she turned around, lost possession of it, so was not able to get a shot away on a very nice setup by the Cardinals, who have shown promise since they've gotten the ball into the offensive zone of possibly scoring their first goal of the game to tie this thing up. There's a long pass, good step up by Lindsay Halt. Lindsay Halt has it now in the middle, number 17. Trying to find Brooke Yabruti. The shot is wide of the goal. Brooke turning her stick over and trying to hit it with the flat side, but it goes off to the left and out of play. So Merrimack with the goal hit. Officials whistle that dead as too high in the air, and Bishop Guertin with possession. Played back to midfield. And to the right. So BG will retrieve this. Frida Teresa, number 23. Hands it off. Moira Thompson trying to clear it into the middle. Free hit called for the Cardinals as they make progress here. This is Lindsay Helt with it. Stick handling, couple yards, throws it in the middle, and it is a whistle against the Cards. Merrimack ball as they try to make it out of their own zone and cannot. Lindsay Helt, BG on the hunt for the equalizer after giving up a goal in the first 3 minutes of the game. They've had some offensive zone possession time here, but not able yet to capitalize. We've yet to see our first penalty corner of the match. Good job of flipping the field by the Cardinals. A little bit of a collision there between goaltender Monina Tosi and the Merrimack forward, who was charging down the field ahead of everybody and nearly had a breakaway opportunity. So I believe this is our goal scorer right here earlier, number 8 for Merrimack is Chloe Capsambelis. Capsambelis was standing out in front of the goal when she received a pass from Avery Hui, the freshman, number 1, who was standing on the right of the goal. And it didn't spend very much time, if any, on Chloe's stick. It went right into the goal, kind of on a ricochet. And that is the difference so far. 1-0. The Tomahawks lead. It was declared a good goal. For soccer players, you can often lurk in front of the goal without worrying about a 3-second violation or anything like that. Get attacked by a bee right there. Almost went in my mouth. So that's swatted out the window. And we are allowed to play on. That's a high hit. That's going to be whistled. Players' sticks tangle. That competitive glare. I believe we have at least eye black, if not sunglasses, down the field. You're not allowed to wear jewelry in field hockey, by the way. You won't see any Javi Baez's running around with $50,000 worth of gold chains in field hockey. It is not allowed. So unadorned players, basically the mouth guard, shin guard, stick, and the uniforms, along with the choice of turf footwear. One-on-one battle there. A few players joined in, and that's going to be whistled. That might be a penalty corner that Merrimack just drew. The stick handler drawing traffic, you're only allowed to have a one-on-one battle. Of course, the temptation of the defense when you see a player that close to your goal is everybody to join in and trying to steal the ball away. But by field hockey rules, only one player, one defender may engage a stick handler at one time. And that was more than one, so it was whistled. We have our first penalty corner of the game as Merrimack tries to set up a shot on goal. It is a dangerous hit called. Kind of a slap shot. You're not allowed to raise the stick above waist level. And only lift shots are allowed if there is no defender between you and the goaltender. So I think that was maybe a violation on 2 of the rules, the no-nos right there for the Merrimack would-be goal scorer. So we have played 8 minutes make that 11 minutes of quarter number one. 4 minutes remaining as BG tries to get their first goal of the game, trailing 1-0. This is Brookia Broody making some progress. Sticks tangle, and they're going to whistle a Merrimack defender with the violation. Unable to play today for Bishop Guertin is number 16, Stephanie Reap, out with an injury. You'll see her at the scorer's table during the course of the game. Tough to miss a playoff game, but she is in uniform and here and supporting her teammates in their preliminary round opening game of the field hockey tournament. Soccer and volleyball will be going into their tournament stages as well in November, along with football. So we look forward to bringing you those games on Nashua ETV. Merrimack has defended well. They have not yielded a penalty corner yet. They have not yielded a quality shot on goal yet. So Monina Tosi has seen a lot more action in the Bishop Guertin goal than has the sophomore goaltender for Merrimack, Natalia Gonzalez. Merrimack now with some offensive zone time. 2.5 minutes to go, first quarter. Still a lot of field hockey to be played. Stamina will play a role in this game, no doubt. To see if it'll stay 1-0, very doubtful. It'll depend on who can keep their gas tank fueled. Now a save by Tosi. Ball goes out of bounds off of a Merrimack player. And it looks like that, no, I guess we're going to say it's Merrimack possession. They pointed toward the Merrimack end. That was the officials' way of designating that they're going to award this possession to a Tomahawk for a free hit. 25 yards out. Merrimack backs away. They try a long shot, and it goes wide. Had that gone straight into the goal, it wouldn't have counted by the field hockey rules that we read. The goal scoring strikes are supposed to come from inside the circle to discourage those kind of big blasts. That one is a illegal hit by BG right into the upper body of the Merrimack player, so that's immediately whistled. And Tomahawks will have possession in an advantageous part of the field. Into the middle, saved by Tosi. She goes to the turf to make a kick save with her right leg. Monina with a very active save, well off her goal line. Don't see that very often in field hockey, but she made it work. And now BG had an opportunity to go on a break-in, but lose it right at the midfield stripe. So at the 50-yard line, Merrimack trying to make some hay here in the final minute of quarter number one. Just 35 seconds left. BG flips the field with the clear in. Tomahawk defense is waiting. Brookia Broody has it. 24 seconds left. Her shot was immediately blocked and deflected out toward midfield. So the Tomahawks back on the attack with possession. And good hustle by BG defender Frida Teresa, number 23, getting back to intercept. By field hockey rules, you're not allowed to back check and strip a ball away from behind, as you can in ice hockey, of course. You're supposed to be shoulder to shoulder or in front of the opposing player with the ball. So that adds to the difficulty of play in field hockey oftentimes. So one field goal for the Merrimack Tomahawks in quarter number one. The difference in the game as we go to the break between the first and second quarters of play. Preliminary round playoff game. Bishop Guertin girls hosting the Merrimack Tomahawks here at Stellos. Tonight at 7 o'clock, we will be live with the South Band Night. This is the Purple Panther fans' only opportunity to get a look at the Nashua South Marching Band this season. That is live tonight at 7 o'clock on Nashua ETV. That'll be a Wednesday, October 21. We welcome the Merrimack fans watching this field hockey game on Merrimack TV. So an opportunity to see girls field hockey live. How many times can you say you've seen that? So here it is from Stellos Stadium, late afternoon game. Welcome everybody wherever you're watching. I'm sure friends and family members of the Merrimack girls are very proud of their play in the first quarter that saw them at least split possession time. If maybe Merrimack could have had a slight advantage, they definitely have the upper hand on the scoreboard, leading 1-0 on what I had as a goal by Chloe Capsambelis, the senior forward and midfielder, on a pass from the corner by Avery Hui, a freshman, about 3 minutes into the contest. And that is the difference so far as we watch the BG sideline there. I believe that is the assistant coach, Cam Halt, who is talking to the troops, including his sister, Lindsay. Number 17, they would like to win this home game, but they have an uphill battle now against the Tomahawks, who came out firing early. Not out of the question that a team with a less than stellar record could put things together later in the season, especially in a team game like that. You often see that dynamic in the NHL, where it's not always the team that has the great regular season record that goes on that Stanley Cup run. So Monina Tosi jogs back into goal for Bishop Guertin. Returning to her line for the Merrimack Tomahawks is Natalia Gonzalez, a sophomore goaltender who is yet to be tested in this playoff game. BG would love to get a couple of penalty corners, maybe put some pressure on their opponents here in quarter number 2. A fresh 15 minutes is up on the board. BG with the opening faceoff. Brooke Yabruti drops it back to Lindsay Halt. Lindsay plays it on ahead, and Bishop Guertin, opportunity to get that loose ball, but ball went off the foot of Bishop Guertin forward Elise Fasano, hustling downfield, and it was whistled dead. BG immediately steals the ball back. Now the whistle goes against the Tomahawks as Lindsay Halt will take it. Oh, she has to give it up. Went against BG as they give the free hitter 5 yards of space. Ball knocked down the field. This is the one game where I wish I brought the binoculars because of the difficulty in picking up the Merrimack numerals at distance. Bishop Guertin with the steal, and a bit of a rush going on here. Still a good 30 yards out from the goal. Finding the ball on her stick, Stephanie Colombe, number 10, the senior. Ball hit down the sidelines. Merrimack successful in taking the ball into the offensive end of the field. Good step up there by Guertin to intercept the 5-yard pass. Teams trading possessions. Loose ball on the miss hit. Halt trying to feed it on ahead to Yabruti. Shielding the ball with her body as she works her way in. Brooke wheels it in the middle, and it might be the first penalty corner of the game for the Cardinals as they draw it here in quarter number 2. So we are 17 minutes into match play in this preliminary round playoff game, and BG has earned their first corner hit, and it'll be Brooke Yabruti doing the honors. Interesting stack that you see Bishop Guertin going with in the middle. Of course, the ball goes to the rear of the stack where Lindsay Halt was waiting, reading that well, the BG defense. And loose ball right in the scoring zone in the middle comes away, and the Merrimack Tomahawks alertly bat it away. It's a foot race now for the loose ball in the BG end. And getting there first was Julia Johnson, number 13. but her attempt to clear is intercepted by the Tomahawks. Going to turn this into a scoring chance, and it just goes wide of the forward to the right of the action. I believe that might have been Samantha Cota, number 20, that was running down the right slot, and the ball just eluded her. Had she been able to get a stick on it, she did have half of the goal to shoot at, where Monina Tosi had basically overcommitted to one side of the goal and the other half was open, but Samantha just couldn't quite reach the pass. There's a shot that goes right across the goal mouth and out of bounds off of the Cardinals. That'll be Merrimack's ball on retrieval. Played 3 minutes and 30 seconds into the second quarter. It's 60 minutes of field hockey to determine who continues on in this 2020 tournament. And right now, Merrimack leading 1-0. The Cardinals with the goal hit. That one deflected off of somebody. It had a lot on it. That looked like a 9-iron as it goes down the fairway. And another foot race. Julia Johnson is back there with the Merrimack forward trying to center it. Everyone's back on defense now for both teams, and on the offensive zone, Merrimack floods the zone with 5 players, and they draw a whistle. I don't know if that was inside the circle where it would be a corner hit. No, it was just outside the circle, so it's just a free hit for Merrimack, but good field position as we resume play. And Lindsay Halt just takes the ball away from the Merrimack forward. And actually, number 25, that was Taylor Guibord, a freshman. Number 25, who did the good work there to flip the field. Brooke Ubrudi has it. The return pass to Guibord. She's in the corner. What hustle. She went the length of the field. She has got to be gassed as she took the ball and her teammates down with her from end to end before it is whistled dead, and she draws a corner hit. So a tremendous burst of energy and inspiration there from Taylor Guibord, number 25, the freshman, who got the big intercept in her defensive zone and then took it all the way down the field and eventually drew this corner hit for Brooke Ubrudi and the Bishop Guertin Cardinals, who are playing with a sense of urgency here in this playoff winner-take-all game, down 1-0 on their home turf, trying to get a shot away. Guibord might have hit it with the back of her stick, and it gets whistled, and so it will be, let's see, what will it be? Can't make any assumptions here. Another corner hit. Merrimack got whistled for the violation there, playing defense, scrambling in their own zone. So Brooke Ubrudi will do a repeat here. She tries to pass it to a teammate in the back. It's going to be Lindsay Helt, passes it off. No, Lindsay Helt received the pass from Guibord. Loose ball in front. Guertin with a great opportunity here. And the whistle. We have sticks clashing. And again, that's going to go against the Merrimack defense. We will do another penalty corner. This is a dynamic that we saw just a few games ago here on Nashua TV in the North-South game, where one team was continually earning penalty corners until finally the dam broke and the defense allowed a goal to go through. But the pressure is relentless here by Bishop Guertin as they look for the equalizer halfway through quarter number 2. There's a whistle, and that will go against the Cardinals. So the pressure is relieved here on the Merrimack defense for the moment as they try to clear it out of their own end. Nice redirect, gets it past the 50-yard stripe. Bishop Guertin's first back to get it. Frida Teresa, number 23, doing the work there, but Merrimack gets the best of the one-on-one battle. Far sideline. Chloe Capsambellis taking the ball in deep, trying to get it out in front. Capsambellis with the game's only goal. If we have it correctly, I'd like to get that confirmed at halftime, perhaps. Loose ball goes all the way to the near side where Bishop Guertin collects, steering it downfield. Julia Johnson will put it back in play, number 13. Trying to connect with Stephanie Colomb. Skips over her stick, but Brooke Yabrudi with the centering pass, deflected past Lindsay Halt and past Sophia Alton, number 2. That was nearly a great setup for a point-blank shot. Natalia Gonzalez, the Merrimack goaltender. Guertin looking for that pass in the middle. Loose. DeBrudy redirects it just wide to the right. So close. Great chance again for the Cardinals to tie this thing up, but shot just goes wide. So Merrimack collects, and they will have a free hit. 15 yards out in front of the goal. It's lofted down the field till it gets to past the 50. And a foot race now toward Monina Tosi. Merrimack's going to get a shot away. And a save by Tosi, who goes to the turf, using her full length to block the Merrimack shots on that occasion. Merrimack with a counterattack at top speed, and Monina Tosi had to go to the turf to preserve the 1-goal game. Well done by the senior netminder for Bishop Guertin. That one was danger zone for Bishop Guertin after spending so much time in the offensive zone with multiple corner hits. BG comes charging downfield and nearly got a goal just that quickly. Instead, the save, and now the Tomahawks trying to add to their 1-goal lead with this offensive zone possession time. Exciting day at Stellos Stadium in Nashua here on a Wednesday, October 21, with the Nashua High South Band Night being held at 7 o'clock tonight. An opportunity, one and only, to see the Nashua High South Marching Band in action for the only time in this season. Unfortunately, they have not been attending and performing at the football games on Friday nights, as we are pleased and privileged to be a part of year after year here. It's been that kind of unusual and difficult year where it's come down to just the one chance tonight to see these student musicians display the hard work that they continue to put in unseen for most of the fall of 2020. Loose ball in the offensive zone for the Cardinals, and what will be the official call? It'll be a free hit about 30 yards away from the goal when you can count for the angle. Make it 40. Merrimack steals immediately, and they find some open space near side. Good step up, though, by Julia Johnson of Bishop Guertin, manning the near sideline, trying to play it correctly on the flat side of the stick. Body check called against Guertin, and the BG girls try to tightrope the sideline with that. Merrimack tried to tightrope the sideline with that clearing shot, but it went out of bounds right into the feet of BG coaching staff. So we resume play. Stephanie Colomb in a good spot. She clears it up ahead, trying to save it before it goes over the end line. Brody can't quite get there, so it's Merrimack ball. In the shadows of the football end zone here at Stellos, but they will take it out. Officials want to give the free hit. 15 yards out is where you drop it after it goes out of bounds back line. Lindsay Halt steps up in the way of that slap shot clearing pass and intercepts. Nearly had a chance to set something up for the Cardinals before the Merrimack defense blocks things from happening yet again. The substitution by Merrimack in the course of play, you must run all the way to the 50-yard line to substitute. You can't just run out off the sideline like you can in, say, football anywhere. It's got to be at the 50 in field hockey. Julia Johnson with the play in here, looking for a teammate. Colomb in the corner. Stephanie wheels around and gets it to Brooke Yabruti. Yabruti playing with the flat side, trying to get it into the middle to Lindsay Halt or Sophia Alton, but it is deflected out of bounds off of, off of a Merrimack player. So it'll be Guertin possession outside the circle. They play it back. Halt with the one-time attempt. It goes off her foot, though, and that gets whistled dead. Merrimack ball. 2.5 minutes to go, second quarter. In the first half, 2.5 minutes remaining. Merrimack enjoying a 1-0 lead with that goal that came about 3 minutes into the contest. Back in the first quarter. Merrimack has maintained their goal to our left for the first and second quarters. I imagine they'll flip the field in half number 2. Tomahawks trying to come out of their own end, and Lindsay Hell picks the pocket as she tries to center the pass. Merrimack ends up with it. Ball centered. Merrimack clearing it up and through and over the end line. So BG will have possession of this out at the 15 with 1:20 to go in the first half. Pass near side. It's Jordan Sherry, number 11, that cleared it up to midfield, but the Cardinals intercept. Number 12 is Jillian Waller, number 12 for Merrimack, who's had a lot of touches in the middle for the Tomahawks today. Under a minute now, 55 seconds left to play. BG trying for that equalizer just before we go to the figurative locker rooms at halftime. They really just stay out on the field here and huddle up in opposite corners. In the middle, shot by Guibort. Save is made by Natalia Gonzalez, her best of the game. A point-blank shot. She saw it all the way, and I believe that was a right pad kick save about ankle level that would have gone in. And a quality shot on goal for the Cardinals with half a minute remaining now. It's less than half a minute. It's only 15 seconds as Lindsay Hull tries to get a shot away late. Merrimack tries to avoid the disastrous results that would result if they gave up a goal near 10 seconds left to go in the half. Instead, that's it. And Merrimack hangs on to that 1-0 lead after the goal in the opening quarter. We have played 30 minutes of field hockey. It is Merrimack 1 and Bishop Guertin nothing as we put 7 minutes up on the board for the halftime break. I'm John Collins along with Tom King, our cameraman today, Tim O'Neill, and we look forward to an exciting conclusion. Girls field hockey second half action coming right up here on Nashua ETV.
In these challenging and changing times, the Nashua Division of Public Health and Community Services would like to share a public health moment with you. Communicable Disease Nurse Coordinator Flavia Martin is here to answer a common COVID-19 question.
So if someone tests positive for COVID-19, do they need a second test to determine that they're negative later?
So we do not recommend that someone performs additional testing in order to show that they're now negative and no longer has the illness. And We know that based on research that says that people can continue to test positive via a PCR test up to 90 days from the date of original infection. And that really has to do with nuances of the testing itself, where it's picking up bits and particles of viral RNA. So research also shows that someone is infectious, meaning culturing out the virus in the laboratory, for typically 10 days from the date of onset. After that, you may continue to test positive via a PCR test because it's still picking up viral RNA that's shedding, but that person is considered no longer infectious, again, after 10 days from the onset of illness. So we generally do not recommend that someone continues to test after that initial infection because it can still come back positive, but that has no basis on someone being contagious to the community.
For more information on COVID-19 or to schedule a COVID-19 test, call 603-589-3456 or visit our website at nashuanh.gov/COVID-19.
We're back for the second half here at Stellos Stadium. 1-0, Merrimack leads it. Tom, I had Chloe Capsambelis as the goal scorer for Merrimack on a one-timer, a ricochet basically off her stick from Avery Hui.
Well, you see the shots that Merrimack takes. I mean, they're hard shots.
They're hard shots.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
BG's trying to finesse their way into the net. And I think they ought to just let it go, you know? But the problem is, I mean, Guertin's playing better than when I saw them play against Sauhegan, which is, you know, Sauhegan's a power. They're Division II, but they're probably the best team in the state overall. They have so much firepower. But, you know, this is, you know, Merrimack's going to need an insurance goal here, I think. The way BG played in the latter part of that second half, or first half, or actually that second quarter, Merrimack is going to need another goal if they want to win this game. Bodies are hitting the turf in this one, too.
Yeah, you're seeing some all-out play, and the stamina will be a factor later, probably.
Yeah, you're seeing tournament play. There's no doubt about it.
I was finding the numbers hard to read on Merrimack, Tom, because they're not white against blue. It's more like
blue with white trim. Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. And that's why we were at a disadvantage there in that goal by Merrimack. It was in traffic, and then they had an immediate celebration, and it was like a shell game trying to keep my eye on the goal scorer, but I believe it was.
Yeah, I'll confirm that.
Yeah, number 8 for Merrimack. Bishop Guertin trying to put some pressure on Natalia Gonzalez, and we have a corner hit awarded. They've had a few of these now. Brooke Yabrudi normally takes them. They stack the middle. They've had Lindsay Holt get some first touches on passes.
I think they're going to need Holt's, you know, has been in a defensive mode with this team a lot this year. I think they're going to need to make her bigger part of the offense and let her go at it. But Yabrudi obviously is a threat. There's Holt. That's what she's got to do. And, you know, she's already got one card in this game. She's got to be careful. So the other thing, too, is you know, Merrimack, Capsambelis, she had a great game against Nashua on Monday. So I'm not surprised that she's already made herself, you know, present offensively.
Another player that's trying to step up is the Taylor Guibord, is a freshman.
This one.
In front. Did that go over the line? I think it did.
Yes, it did. It's a goal. Cardinals tie it up.
And again, an immediate celebration engulfing the goal scorer, who I believe was the player that was furthest into the net. BG ties it 1-1. So it was very quickly into the 3 minutes into the second half. That's about when Merrimack got their goal, 3 minutes into the first half.
Merrimack got it with 12:24 left, BG with 12:09 left in the period. But that was just pressure. They had to get the ball in deep, you know. Put some pressure on Gonzalez. Let her, you know. She made a big save down here at the end of the first half, a big pad save. But then BG needed to get deeper in, and they were able to do it on that play. But I'll tell you what, one thing that Ann McClain, the Merrimack coach, has stressed to her team, she's yelled that number out several times, 17, Lindsay Holt. You know, because that Holt from the point put the shot in, and that started the play after the penalty quarter.
Yeah, key.
She wants her team to make sure they mark her up.
Key ingredient there was the corner, and it led to the goal early here in the third quarter. So now we're back to even Steven, 1-1 in this preliminary round playoff game. Winner's season continues. The loser's season will end. And BG, that didn't have the greatest record, as you alluded to in the open, Tom, they would desperately like to win their only home playoff game.
Right.
Here.
Well, they had their season interrupted, too, for 2 weeks. So
strange.
But they are without.
That's a soccer goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were saying last night with soccer, as Jason said, the ball hit the field hockey goal. They said it's the wrong goal.
Yeah, you had some good games yesterday. We had a 5-1 boys win and a 3-2 BG girls overtime
South was
win.
dominant without Manny.
Without Manny.
Yeah. And
what happened to him?
Injuries. They had 4 starters out with injuries. You wouldn't have never known it because they're so darn deep.
Yeah, as you said, the depth.
Yep.
BG drowned in it, as many opponents have this season.
Right, but kudos to the girls team at South, because they came back 2-0 down with 15 minutes to play, and they came back and tied it. Who would have thought that against Guertin?
And they only had 1 win on the season going into that.
And then that win, John, they were down 3-0 against Merrimack and at halftime and came back to win 4-3.
Another dramatic comeback.
Keep an eye on South, with the dramatic comebacks, but keep an eye on the Cardinals, who right now are going to get another penalty corner.
Yeah, the Cardinals' offensive pressure has been here since the opening tap here in second half, and they've gotten their second penalty corner. They had a goal off of their first one. We'll see what happens here. And again, Brooke Brody will take that corner hit. 5 defenders in the goal out front.
That's Holt, I think, right?
I believe that's the freshman, Guibord. Slapping it in, and deflection, it goes in.
One-timer, she slapped in, it was tipped in, I believe.
It was tipped in, Tom, you're right. It was by the player at the far post.
Yep.
And we'll have to get confirmation on who scored these 2 goals in traffic, in deep. I have an idea who might have scored that. So I'll keep my eye on her, and I'll tell you, I think it was the player that's standing on the 45-yard line, the furthest of the 4 from us.
No, of course.
I think got that goal, but I'll get you the number in a second. But what a great execution by Guibord, number 25.
A one-time tip-in.
Yes.
And this is a Guertin team, John. It is without Riley Bouvier, one of their best players. And the reason she's not playing is, and I'll tell you in a second.
This is a freshman here who's making a big impact.
Yeah, they've got some young players that are really good. BG has always had good freshman players on their field hockey team. And lacrosse. The freshmen were one of the strengths of the lacrosse team a couple of years ago.
And again, it's Lindsay Holt with it in traffic in the middle.
Holt's a playmaker when it comes down to crunch time like this.
Holt steals it. Moves it. Still has it.
She's got a chance
deep
to put it right in the middle.
Oh, just whiffed
on
the.
She whiffed on it. I know. I saw another player whiff on a shot, try to send it down the field. It's like me on the first tee.
She did all the hard part.
Exactly.
And then it just skipped over a stick out of bounds.
So we got a game, but who would have thought the way Merrimack started this game out that Guertin now would be up ahead? Because that's the one thing when you're talking at halftime is how to play that second half. Up 1-0, thinking that maybe you had another opportunity, because goaltending, BG was strong in that first half.
Yeah, a few good saves there by Monina Tosi, including one that she went completely down on the turf and sprawled out.
Yes, that's the one I'm referring to, yep.
She had to. It was a fast break counterattack by Merrimack. They nearly went up 2-0.
The winner of this game gets the winner of North at Keene. BG's probably rooting for North to win that game, because I think they would have to travel to Keene if they.
Yeah.
And that would be the second team that has to go to Keene this week for Guertin. Here's a
Guiboard
pressure right
stick
here.
handling through everybody.
Boy, she's played a great game, hasn't she?
She has. Huge impact.
Yep.
Number 25 for Guertin. She assisted on that second goal. That gave the Cardinals the lead with 7:20 to go third quarter.
But if I'm Ann McClain, I'm just saying Guertin's getting the ball in too deep. You can't allow them to get that close.
Yeah, time after time.
Oh, has it been 3 or 4 times, I think, in this half, right? And they had a couple of opportunities in deep down at the end of the first half. Too much for Merrimack, great for Guertin. John, the BG football team is going to have to go to Keene Friday night for a play-in game in Division I football. There is no BG South game here on Saturday night.
Right, that's
So because of
a change in the
yeah,
schedule.
you're right, as well because of the play-ins.
Right.
But Bouvier is not here today for BG because she went to the University of Maryland, I believe, for lacrosse for a visit.
And what happened?
Either lacrosse or field hockey. Nothing happened.
Oh, she's
but you
out of
gotta,
state?
You got to state. You got to come back quarantine.
Oh, yeah.
So she's not been able to play. So she's probably doing school remote and not able to participate, and that takes her basically through the tournament. That's a tough loss.
Did she know that before she went?
Well,
She
John, I
probably
mean,
did.
it's
life, right? You want to make your next step.
You've got to
visit.
make your next visit. College is a lot more important, and I think if it was lacrosse, that's her sport. So.
Remarkable step up there by Frida Teresa, who actually saved a Merrimack player from getting thwacked with that ball about waist high. She was able to intercept it with her stick.
And now a big free hit.
Yeah, that was a dangerous hit by Merrimack. It got whistled, and it could cost them.
And that's going to go all the way through. Look at that. See? You've got to be able to pick that off if you're Merrimack. That was hit slowly enough. And now it's going to be another penalty corner for Guertin.
Right.
5:30 left to play here in the third quarter. But BG's got to go to Keene in football, John. And my opinion is they should not have to. They are the higher seed by the draw, but Keene is awarded the home. Keene gets the home game because it's an agreement because Keene won't travel to Nashua.
Loose ball in front, and it is across the line.
Wow, another goal.
The Cardinals' pressure has been immense in this half, and it's paid off 3 times. 3 goals here in the third quarter.
What a half for Guertin. This is probably the best half they've played all season. Incredible.
And again, a flood of BG players were in the crease area, and it could have been anybody that pushed it across the line, but the officials were right there. It's the third goal of this third quarter, and third goal in about
Boy, what a dominating period for BG. The thing is, they've got to make sure they don't get dominated on the other end. Right?
Right. Yeah, I'd say they got 3 goals in about 7 minutes.
Oh, they did.
7,
5:05, so
yeah.
50, the 12:29 to 5:05, 7 minutes. And if I do my math right, 7 minutes and 24 seconds. And who knows if they put any more in.
I wouldn't bet against it the way they have started here in the second half.
Exactly.
And Merrimack seems at a loss to stop the bleeding. It's just been a offensive zone fest for the Cardinals after the halftime break. Now Merrimack down the field a little bit. I don't know if there was any strategy involved in this, but Tom, you have one goal that's completely in shadows and the other one that has the sun beating down on it, and that's the one that BG has scored.
Yeah, I don't think that matters
on.
because the goals that have been scored, Gonzalez is right on top of the plate.
Right,
She's
right in
there.
the middle, yeah.
I mean, they're very close, so the
Yeah.
sun shouldn't be in her eyes too much when the ball is right next to your feet.
And Guiboard, who was moving that ball smartly down the field, accidentally kicked it, so Merrimack has possession. And they lift it down the field. That was above the shoulders, and they let him play on because it was a violation that would have went against Merrimack. And BG had possession.
They're allowing a lot more of those hits these days.
It does seem like that. The lift shots.
Here it is.
And just lost control of it.
Exactly.
She had 3 teammates ready to receive a pass.
Yep.
Alertly in front of the goal to only 2 defenders. And that's the problem for Merrimack. Had Taylor been able to sweep that one in front, it would have been another goal-scoring opportunity. So Merrimack trying to come out. That one is whistled because it was received by a teammate above the waist. Good step up. Merrimack down the field, flipping our view from right to left, but it goes right over the end line, and so it will be...
Trying to see that number in goal. Did BG make the switch? Or did they stick with Tosi?
BG stuck with Tosi.
That's
yeah.
what I thought they would do. The way she played in that first half, how can you remove her in a do-or-die game?
And when you're down a goal, yeah.
Right.
Sticks clash at midfield, and it is a violation against the Tomahawks. So
last year, this Guertin team beat Bedford in a home prelim, and then they went to win a Cunnet, a long-time nemesis, on the road, and they beat them and made it to the semifinals, where they eventually fell, I believe. I'm not sure if it was Wyndham or not. I'm not sure they lost to in the semis. And Merrimack made the semis as well. But not this year. Only one will be able to move on. There's another ball, and Gonzalez has to kick it away.
Good kick.
Yep. Problem is, I don't think she kicked it strong enough and wide enough. But luckily, Merrimack is able to retain possession.
Yeah, foul called against BG gives the Tomahawks possession at their own 15. And a good step up and interception by the Cardinals, though. In front.
Look at this.
Having trouble clearing it away. It goes over the line.
These are possessions that BG should not be allowed to get, in terms of being able to get in deep. But don't forget, Merrimack, as Ann McLean said, they had some things they had to work on that they noticed in the South game, and they've had a day in 2 games in 3 days where they hadn't had 2 games in almost 2 weeks. So it's a little bit, maybe the fatigue has set in a little bit already.
And the Tomahawks clear it away.
Yeah, right now it's all BG. It's as dominant as I've seen a team be against the Tomahawks in a short amount of time, as we only have 30 seconds ticking down till the end of the 3rd period.
You're Broody in traffic,
Broody, yep.
And it's what is that? She inside the circle? Is it going to be a corner hit? A card is shown.
Well, let's see who that is. It's against Merrimack.
Yeah, it's I don't know if it was green or yellow. Might have been green. Might have been a warning.
Green was what Holt got.
Okay, that's a preliminary warning card.
Yep.
Of course, 2 minutes. 2 minute penalty call.
Yeah, you got to sit out for 2.
Possession for the Cardinals.
And now the clock will restart. 19 seconds left. Now the whistle blows.
Yep, and the Tomahawks have it. So
right. Violation.
The official wants to reset the ball back.
Yeah, and Chris Holt wants to know what the heck happened. Or Cam Holt.
17 seconds to go. Two officials working the game here at Girls Field Hockey. And so in the final 15 seconds, Merrimack thwacks it down the field. Foot race is on with 10 seconds to go.
Guertin just hit it the other way and then let the time run out. Time's going to run out anyway, as they're down to 3, 2, 1, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. End of 3 here, everybody. It's 3-1 Bishop Guertin. Amazing period by the Cardinals.
Well, Tom's story may be all about the 3rd quarter when this is done.
Yeah, exactly. If it stays the same,
Game changer.
As I said, John, BG has to make sure the opposite doesn't happen to them.
Right.
In the 4th quarter.
And that's what the conversation is in the Merrimack huddle. They need offensive pressure. They need to come out firing to try to tie this thing up.
Yeah, I haven't had to look into the sun too much, and neither of you.
Right. To our left, we've been looking all right at the action. in the defensive zone of Merrimack, where they've been besieged since the second half began. Whatever the BG came up with as a plan and a strategy at halftime, it has worked. Stay tuned tonight, 7 o'clock. We have the Nashua High School South Band Night. This is the Purple Panther fans' only opportunity to get a look at the Nashua South Marching Band this season. That's live tonight at 7 on Nashua TV. And once again, we welcome our Merrimack fans watching this game on Merrimack
right. We are
TV.
on Merrimack TV, yep.
Tom, you were talking about the boys, South boys soccer team, and it's an exciting prospect for them as they go into the playoffs. Do they have championship aspirations?
Yeah, oh, definitely. They feel they can play with anybody. They know Manchester Central may be the other team that they have to watch out for down the road, but, you know, and you know, the draw, I mean, you throw the records out the window, basically, you know, literally, because the draw is all blind. And they'll have to play a play-in game, but guess who they get on Monday? Nashua North. Second year in a row, they get Nashua North for their first tournament game, which is not exactly what they like because it's a rivalry game and anything can happen.
Wow, I'd like to do that game. Hopefully we'll see if Pete can manage it.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we'll probably be there.
It'll be.
You know, I'll be there.
Yeah, I know you'll be there. It'll be
you know,
North against South boys
starting
soccer.
to get into the time of year where I can't be, I need to be, but can't be in two places at once. Right.
So you can almost hear what's going on in the BG huddle. And some of what's being said is,
it's all players huddle right now.
Yeah, don't let up, I suppose. Meanwhile, the Merrimack team huddled to our left. They are ready to play the fourth quarter. We have a fresh 15 minutes up on the scoreboard.
Go BG!
As we watch goaltenders return to their respective frames. It's Natalia Gonzalez for Merrimack.
She's doing the goalie jog. Tosi kind of making a nice leisurely stroll. Kind of a statement on their halves because Gonzalez has been busy while Tosi has been basically on a stroll the whole third quarter.
Not tested in that third quarter, where she basically watched from a distance as her teammates put the pressure on the Merrimack goal and came up with 3. Bishop Guertin was behind at halftime, and that is now a distant memory as they are in control of this one at 3-1 entering the fourth quarter. Merrimack with possession. They will play it back to go forward, which they do. And Bishop Guertin intercepts.
Well, see with BG now in this third quarter, you don't let up. Don't get into a defensive mode if you've got the lead while Merrimack will be charging. Key, time of possession. If you can possess the ball and hold on to it the way they have in that third quarter, then it's going to be tough for the Tomahawks to come back. But Merrimack you never count a Merrimack team out. Look at this, it's in deep again. You never count a Merrimack team out, John. They've just been a very steady program over the years. So let's see our penalty corner. Brooke Ubrudi will be taking it out again.
They've got this system down. Brooke Ubrudi takes the corner hit. They stack the middle, as you can see.
Right.
And get set to come out, and it's sort of a confusing way to go at the defense. They don't know who's going to take the hit. It's going to be Halt in the middle. It hit a stick of a BG player, and I think it hit the curved part of the stick, so that got whistled. There are numerous fouls that you can commit in field hockey, sometimes just by accident.
Boy, John, I'm out here in the sun, and should have worn the shorts.
Yeah, that's another 10 degrees you got going there.
It's
like
more
70 degrees in the sun at least.
Exactly.
More. Far side of the field. Merrimack trying to intercept but cannot, and the ball trickles over the line off of Cardinals.
Official temperature is 66, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot warmer than that.
Yeah, where you are, it's about 75.
Yeah, exactly. If you wonder where I am, everybody, I'm out just in front of the press box at Stellos, out in the nice fresh air, so I could distance myself from John Collins as much as possible. It's not as good as the setup that we had at Holman, where I was way away from you and didn't even have to see
You had your own booth.
Exactly. But it does the trick, and that's where I'll be Friday night for our game with Londonderry, a football game with North and Londonderry.
And I'm praying for a cold rain. Just kidding.
Right, exactly.
No, we don't let you catch
And
a
I save
regular
there
cold.
by Tosi as Merrimack puts a little pressure on. Kind of catches BG napping.
Come on, defense!
Yeah, they caught me napping. Tosi,
Boy,
kick save and a
kick
beauty.
save. Yeah, no kidding. And it was a sliding kick save. She had to stretch that pad out.
It's kind of forced to do that.
And here
Merrimack's-
come the Tomahawks, just like I said. They are going to make a run. 12-11 to play.
Merrimack has that ability for the fast break attempts. They've
Yes, they do.
Had
They
a-
hit the ball. They go the distance, don't they?
2 or 3 times
Right.
tonight.
But see, here's the thing. I mean, this is a team with their season on the line here, John. You know, and they've got some catching up to do, and they know it.
Merrimack with a different formation. They spread out the recipients of the corner hit, and they're trying to get a shot away. They do
Wide.
to the left.
Airborne, though, which is a dangerous, you know.
Yeah. Now,
Not a
reading up on my.
dangerous hit by the rule, but a dangerous shot for the goalie to have to save.
That's true, because by the rules, I was freshening up on my field hockey rules before the game, and you are allowed to lift it if it's just you and the goalie. If there's
Right.
no other defender in between you and the goalie.
Right, and there was
And then
none.
it becomes a dangerous stop, as Tom
There was
said,
none.
a challenging stop. But it was off to the left, and now BG has flipped the field, and they are on offense again. Ball in the danger zone, and trickles through. Shot,
Score.
goal.
Look at that.
4-1.
Look at that, huh? Didn't take long at all.
No, you could see that coming. It was like Merrimack was kind of standing around in their own circle, and the only person that had a chance at that last hit was a BG forward, and it's in the back of the frame. So we go from a Merrimack corner hit to a BG goal in less than a minute.
John,
Maybe
to me,
half a minute.
to me, that's probably going to be the clincher.
Yeah, that would be a
It's gonna be
discouraging goal.
It's going to be
if you're a
really,
Merrimack fan or
unless
player.
Merrimack can equal that kind of pressure, it's going to be tough for them to get 3 goals with just 12 minutes to play.
Halt in traffic trying to hit Taylor Guibord.
I think the big thing for Guertin is they can't fall asleep defensively like they did on that rush that Merrimack had, but they also need to they can't let the pressure off. If they start to get into a defensive mode, that's when you get into trouble. They can't they can't take their foot off the gas. Game is too fickle for that.
Merrimack working at far sideline. They sustain a body check. Foul called against BG, but they resume play quickly. Tomahawks possession as they go deep into the corner.
And they'll have a free hit from that 5-yard line. They hit it backwards, which I hate that. I just think, you know what? Keep going in the one direction that you need to go in.
Happens in soccer a lot too, and
Yeah,
it
I don't like
irks
that
me.
either.
Yeah,
I know
Giving
it's
up
a play.
ground you
I know
gained.
it's a play in space that you need to make, but still. And here's a BG with playing Merrimack's game with the long hit downfield.
the clear out.
Let's go, BG!
Tomahawks getting a free hit about 20 yards out from the goal. And foul called against Merrimack. So BG an opportunity to clear it out with a free hit. Their own 15. So our Friday TV schedule for our viewers will have Londonderry at North football at 6:30 on Nashua ETV.
Right, live.
And at the almost same time, but just a little bit later, on Government TV Channel 16,
We'll have the,
Pete Johnson
the
said-
South Bedford game, right?
South Bedford game,
Right.
South at Bedford.
Right,
so
because that was the change when BG's game with South was eliminated. due to the playoffs starting up for the play-in.
Merrimack with a chance.
Break.
Do they get the shot away?
They will right here. They have an open player right near the net.
Tosi just sprawls.
Oh, she's way out. And she gets away with it.
It pays off.
It does. Wow. Good for Merrimack, though, putting some pressure on.
Monina Tosi, senior goaltender, just put her body near the ball and kind of intimidated the forwards of Merrimack. They never did get a quality shot away. And it's effective. Now BG on a fast break, foot race, loose ball, book your Brody.
One with the goalie.
Shot, and a nice save, or it just goes
I
wide.
think it just went wide.
Wide.
BG needed to be a little quicker on the draw there. They had that opportunity. They had a 2-on-0, John.
So it'll be Merrimack possession, but valuable time going off the clock with a 3-goal lead for BG.
You're under 8 to play. Going to be difficult.
You heard the clack of the sticks, and that is a foul against the Cardinals, and
But that's
actually a yellow card.
Wow.
So Lindsay Helt's got to come off.
Oh, that's her second card. She got a green one earlier.
Yeah, and that's why. And, it wasn't really any kind of a malicious play. It was just aggressive, accidental stick-on-stick. And because it was her second card, she's got to come off for a while. So the Tomahawks.
She's going to sit. Relax. It's an edge for Merrimack not to have her on the field. But you know what, John? It's going to be a little controversial here. She's got 2 cards already, right? She gets one more. If I'm not mistaken, she won't be able to play in the next game.
So that means we've seen the last of Lindsay Helt in this game.
You know what? I don't think so, but that's what I would do. Maybe they won't do that. They'll want her out there to maintain this lead. But I would say, okay, your day's done now. We don't want to lose you for the next game because you're an aggressive player, and the referees are watching you. They are watching you. She's got that reputation anyway. So it may not be her fault, but if the ref is eyeing you, they're going to look at everything. You know what I mean, John?
Exactly.
So,
sometimes, as I said in field hockey, you commit a foul by accident. It's
right,
not something
exactly.
you consciously wanted to do.
So if I'm Guertin, I say, okay, you're done for the day. We need you for the next game. We can't afford to lose you as we have another penalty quarter and your Brody goes to the corner to make the pass. 6:19 to play in the game. 4-1, Guertin with the lead.
So I got my eye on Taylor Guibord, number 25, who's been the recipient of...
Right, because there's no Halt on this play.
There's no Halt. In the middle, the return pass doesn't go. That was from Liv Libachuk, number 15. Merrimack's do a good job of defending the corner and trying to turn it into offense here with 5:50 to go in the contest. And perhaps in the Tomahawks field hockey season, as Guertin with a 4-1 lead. And that's Taylor Guibord, and she's onside, and it's a legal hit, and there's a 2-on-2, a 3-on-2 for the moment. Guibord stretching the field, trying to center it. Cardinals' Sophia Alton ended up with possession in the middle of the circle.
That's the kind of possession you need to get a shot on.
Yeah,
goal.
I was going to say.
Oh, there's a steal.
Number 22 is Lauren Redfern.
Yeah, she tried to get it to the wing on the left side. Redfern did, but she wasn't able to do it.
Come on, D!
As the Tomahawks take it away.
Yeah, but you know what, John? The ball's moving in the wrong direction for Merrimack. We're under 5 to play now. Here's
Sophia Alton looking for a teammate
break
to pass to.
Yeah, it looked like me on the first tee, a little topper.
Out of bounds. Your solo golf must be other people probably copying that, Tom.
Well, I only played once this year. I haven't had a chance to get back out once the school stuff started.
Tom with all these undocumented holes in one. He's
Birdies.
out there by himself.
Birdies. Birdies. Hole in one.
Birdies.
They'll always question the hole in ones. The birdies, maybe they'll give me a little pass.
Yeah. Good for you. Down the field we go. Brookie with it, pushing it ahead. 4 minutes to go. BG nursing a 4-1 lead with the old best defense is good offense.
Look at that takeaway by the
Brody in
Cardinals.
front, across the goal mouth.
Very hard shot. It needed to be. It's all a timing play. But that was a great takeaway by Brody.
Yeah.
And one that the Tomahawks could not really afford. 3:41 to play. It's 4-1 BG. They will likely, unless a miracle occurs, and it would be one of our better broadcasts if one does, BG will advance to the next round,
A steal.
which I believe will be on Saturday, quarterfinals.
Loose ball near sideline. Merrimack's number 1, Avery Hui, who got an assist on the Tomahawks' only goal. Morgan Flett, number 15, flicks it ahead. A couple of Merrimack players, Summer Lucas, lurking there, but it's taken away by Brooke Yabrudi. Yabrudi has got that great stick handling ability. Tough to do in field hockey. Clears it down the sideline, gets called for I think a stick above the waist.
Boy, what a beautiful afternoon all of a sudden, huh?
Yes.
It was cloudy and kind of humid and
Yeah.
dismal and
Overcast.
overcast and just,
I think it's going to be like this for a while, a few days.
For a couple of days, yeah, exactly.
Cardinals hunting for more here with 2:29 to go. Lindsay Helt is
She's
back.
in the game.
And I'm with you, Tom, on that. But
Yep.
we'll see if she can be mindful and not do anything aggressively. It's tough to do, though, for a competitive athlete to just turn it off like that.
And we are now approaching the 2-minute mark. 2 minutes to go in the game. 2:06 as it counts down. And I believe, John, this is probably it.
Yep, under 2. Ball at midfield. Merrimack has kind of petered out compared to how they started this game. They were on the attack from the opening whistle. Scored a goal 3 minutes in. We were looking to the Merrimack offensive zone quite a bit in the first half, and then that all just went away with a spectacular and productive third period for the BG girls field hockey team. They scored 3 goals in less than 7.5 minutes, and that has been the story. Adding 1 here in the fourth quarter. But it's they've shut out Merrimack in the second half.
Guertin, all they need to do is just take the ball, whack it down the field, right?
And there you go, right on cue.
Exactly what they do, and 1:13 to play. Merrimack, to its credit, playing hard throughout. But boy, it was just a incredible second half for Guertin. You wonder how all of a sudden that switch got turned on. You know that, John?
Right.
You really do. You would have thought Cam Holt was out there. By the way, he's graduated from UMass Lowell. He's now taking courses down at Lynn University in Florida, in Boca.
Boca.
Yep.
So
he's doing the classes remotely now, but he'll have to go down there in the spring, if they, I believe so, to play lacrosse. He's got another year eligibility, remember, because they lost their spring season last year.
Wow. In front. I wouldn't want to get hit by that guy in lacrosse.
He said he wanted to go somewhere away from New England. Yeah, I know, because he said he hates the weather. 17 seconds left to play in this game, and that'll do it, everybody. BG is going to take away a 4-1 win here against Merrimack and advance to the quarterfinals in Division I field hockey.
Congratulations to them on that 4-1 victory. For Tom King and my cameraman Tim O'Neill and our executive producer Pete Johnson, I'm John Collins, thanking you for watching as we did this live telecast from Stellos on a Wednesday, October 21. The final score, Bishop Guertin 4, Merrimack 1. The Cardinals of BG advance in the 2020 girls field hockey season. Good night from Stellos Stadium, everybody.